What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol LMFA for LM Funding America. This one's kind of interesting. It does not have any shares to short or put options or any options really available on it, so be aware you cannot trade this one to the downside or take advantage of downside activity. That being said, starting off by mapping out obvious areas of support and resistance from the daily perspective, that jumps off the page at me. Certainly this area here, which we were using as support today, and then I'd argue there's a level in here at $4.44. The next thing that's sort of, screaming at me is this support trend line, which was violated, but now we're certainly trading back above it. Technically, we never closed the candle underneath, and what I'm doing is using an anchor point here, touch 1, touch 2, a number of touches in there, right? Touch 3, and then of course this lower wick pierces it, save the day with the 50 SMA here, leads to a nice gap up on this earnings number, it looks like. So all things considered from the daily perspective, we are starting to form a bit of a new uptrend here, but we'll see what happens with this gap up. Can it hold where it's pulled back into now, this prior pivot high now acting as support, or is it going to fill the gap all the way, in which case we're looking at the prior day's high, which is going to be in here, grabbing that other tool quickly, right around our $4.71 mark. Shifting the attention now over to the 30-minute time frame chart to see if we got it right. Did we miss anything? What is going on here? First thing I want to say is, after the earnings announcement, obviously it led to the gap up, but it led to a lot of eyeballs. I always talk about eyeballs on this channel. If the eyeballs go away, it's likely that momentum here dries up and this thing kind of rolls over and heads back down into this sideways range. If that's what I would really classify that as, right? The sideways range down here after experiencing a nasty sort of pop and drop earlier on in the beginning parts of the year. So make sure to keep an eye on volume. Nonetheless, from the 30-minute perspective, as we always do, we'll take out our Fibonacci's, go from the high of the move down to the low, dragging those numbers off to the left. You can see the 38.2 is right here. We would have known where that was after this bounce started to happen and what happened at that area. I would argue is a pretty weak close. As we know, the 38.2 generally marks a healthy area of pullback or consolidation for bull flag breakouts, and it's no different for bear flag breakdowns. So in this case, this did act as resistance here, 520, the 38.2. We got some more candle closes underneath and actually even came back down to retest low of day towards that last 30-minute period. So I would argue it's a fairly weak close here. I would be looking for the gap to completely fill down to about $4.71 at that point in time, because we are in a new daily uptrend here, and maybe earnings are going to keep eyeballs remaining on this. I would be on the lookout here for any type of hammer candles, any sort of indecision dojis, basically anything that would make you question, is the selling done? Is it time to flip long over the highs and start to retarget some of these areas, which we'll map out in just a moment. Obviously, in that case, your stop loss goes underneath the low of whatever type of candle forms that would signal a reversal. So what are those levels that we want to map out? Obviously, you can keep those Fibonacci's on for yourself, but there is just a horizontal level that you could use, right? It's very simply right here at $5.25, right? You could call it 524, 523, 526, or just use a nice round number, 525. That's what I would like to do, so we'll call 525 the critical resistance. If we can get back up and over it, I would argue 565 is back in play. And in terms of percentage move, that is rather large. We're not talking about things that are trivial here whenever you're trading a stock under $10. So on the break of 565, if that does end up happening, scrunching the chart up to see what is going on to our left, I would argue the next major level to pay attention to is here, 6.25, simply because we had prior support, then offer resistance here, and certainly in this large upper wick, we also saw resistance. So key things to keep an eye on: volume, 100%. If we can get down and fill the gap, look for reversal candles. On any more upside, you're looking to trade back into today's range. 525 is the key break to revisit 565. That's how I'm going to think about LMFA. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.